I'm sorry, what do you mean that Alex Murdaugh's conviction has been overturned? What do you mean that Alex Murdaugh's conviction has been overturned? Okay, so first, who is Alex Murdaugh and what did he do? If you don't know, where have you been? I have an entire TikTok covering his case. I also have an entire podcast episode talking about him. But if you're new to this case, here's what you need to know. Alex Murdaugh was a prominent attorney from a very powerful South Carolina legal dynasty, a family that had dominated the local court system for nearly a century. On the night of June 7th, 2021, his wife, 52-year-old Maggie, and his 22-year-old son, Paul, were found murdered on the family's sprawling hunting estate in South Carolina. Alex claimed that he had not been at home, that he had been away visiting his mother during the times of the murders. However, cell phone data and a video containing his voice placed him at the scene very shortly before the murders. Prosecutors accused Alex Murdaugh of carrying out the murders to earn pity and distract from financial crimes that he had done that would pretty much end his entire reputation. He was arrested in July of 2022. His trial began January 25th of 2023. He was convicted of 2 counts of murder and sentenced to 2 life terms without the possibility of parole. The world was watching. This quickly became one of the most talked about true crime cases in American history. And then today, everything changed. What happened today, May 13th, 2026? The South Carolina Supreme Court unanimously overturned Alex Murdaugh's murder convictions and ordered a new trial in a 5-0 ruling, meaning that every single person agreed that Alex Murdaugh's trial was tainted, therefore the convictions cannot stand. And the reason behind this had absolutely nothing to do with the evidence and everything to do with one woman and her book deal, Becky Hill. During the Alex Murdaugh trial in 2023, a woman named Rebecca Becky Hill served as the county clerk of court. Think of the county clerk as an official administrator of the courtroom, managing logistics, communicating with jurors, and keeping order in the courtroom, essentially. AKA, she was a person with a lot of trust. Jurors rely on the clerk. They interact with her constantly. She is, in many ways, kind of like a quiet authority figure in the courtroom, but the trust that she had, she did not use properly because a post-trial court found that Becky Hill made improper comments to jurors on the day that Alex Murdaugh testified. She told them this is an important day and this is an epic day, kind of telling them to pay special attention. She told them to watch Alex Murdaugh's body language as he testified in his own defense. One juror said that Becky Hill said things to him such as, quote, watch his actions, watch him closely, when Alex Murdaugh was taking the stand. Another juror said that Becky Hill told them, quote, they're going to say things that would try and confuse you. Do not let them confuse you or convince you or throw you off, end quote. So to be clear about what this means in simple terms, the court clerk, who is supposed to be a neutral person with really no opinions, was suggesting to the jury that Alex Murdaugh was guilty before he even testified. She was suggesting that they should not believe him or his defense and suggesting that they find him guilty and convict him. And the issue there, one of the issues, is that in a ruling post-trial, it was found that Becky Hill was writing a book about the case and she allegedly wanted Alex Murdaugh to be found guilty so that her book would do well. The post-trial court's findings was that Becky Hill was, quote, attracted by the siren call of celebrity and had allowed her desire for the public spotlight to override her duty to the court, unquote. Her desire for the guilty verdict was, according to the court, directly tied to the book that she was planning on writing about the trial. A guilty verdict meant a better story meant better book sales. So Becky Hill was charged with perjury, obstruction of justice, and misconduct. The charges alleging that she made seal evidence available to the media, lied under oath, and used her court position to promote her new book. She pleaded guilty in December of 2025 and she was sentenced to 3 years of probation. Now, what the Supreme Court has said is that, quote, Becky Hill placed her fingers on the scales of justice, thereby denying Murdaugh his right to a fair trial by an impartial jury. So there's going to be a retrial for his murder convictions now. And the court continued, quote, although we are aware of the time, money, and effort expended for this lengthy trial, we have no choice but to reverse the denial of Murdaugh's motion for a new trial due to Hill's improper external influences on the jury, end quote. In other words, they're saying, we know this is unfortunate, we know how much it costs, but we cannot allow a conviction to stand when the jury was manipulated. The entire foundation of the justice system, a fair trial before an impartial jury, did not happen, therefore the convictions go out the window. Alex Murdaugh is not free, okay, thank God, because he's still serving time for his dozens of financial crimes, fraud, embezzlement, stealing from his own clients. So even if the murder charges somehow disappeared completely, entirely, he would not be a free man. But the convictions being overturned still do not mean that he is a free man. It means that the convictions are wiped away and the case has to start over. Alex Murdaugh is still in prison. He's still being charged with the murders of Maggie and Paul. He simply no longer has an active conviction on those charges as he now awaits for a new trial. I just can't believe this is going to trial again. This is so awful. It's so terrible for so many reasons that I feel like I don't even have to explain. But some of those reasons are the facts that the original crime scene was already deeply compromised, that police reportedly failed to collect various important pieces of evidence, that the whole mess of the trial and everything that came along with it has been already exposed to the public, and now people are just supposed to forget about everything that happened in that courtroom. Also, it was 3 years ago. Evidence ages, witnesses' memories fade, some people may no longer be available to be a witness, and everything legal aside, his convictions, in a lot of people's opinions, meant justice for his wife, a mother, and a person who was loved by a lot of people, justice for his son, a 22-year-old kid. The justice they received has been taken away, not because the evidence was wrong, not because Alex Murdaugh was proven to be innocent, but because of one woman. So today, for the first time since that guilty verdict, the legal system has handed Alex Murdaugh a window. This is a massive win for him, and it makes me dizzy. Yeah, I had a different video plan for today, but I woke up and saw those headlines. I'm baffled. And you guys are so quick. I already saw it all over my comment section. Anyway, we'll see what happens, I guess. Thank you for spending time with me today. I hope you guys are having the best day. If not, go do something to make it the best day and make somebody happy. And I will see you in my next video. Massive kiss on the forehead to every single one of you.